The new recruit walked silently into the mess hall, her sleeves rolled up just enough to reveal a small tattoo near her wrist. Faded, simple, and unremarkable. To everyone else, it was just another ink mark on another soldier. But for Commander Hayes, it stopped his breath cold. That symbol, the winged dagger with the initials SR beneath, wasn't just any design. It belonged to a covert SEAL rescue team that vanished 5 years ago during an off-the-record mission. And the only person who ever survived that disaster was presumed dead. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Hayes's hand trembled slightly as he set down his coffee mug. The chatter in the room seemed to fade, replaced by the echo of rain against the tin roof outside. He hadn't seen that emblem since the day they pulled the last broken radio out of the sea. The recruit, Corporal Elara Finch, didn't notice his stare. She was quiet, disciplined, and far too skilled for someone her age. Rumors had already begun to circulate. Some said she trained with special ops before joining the base. Others whispered she was here on someone's orders. When the commander finally called her into his office, she stood at attention, eyes steady. "Where did you get that tattoo, Corporal?" he asked, his voice low but heavy with meaning. She hesitated, the air thick between them. "It's a memorial, sir," she said softly. "For who?" "For those who were left behind." Hayes's heart tightened. Only someone who was there could have said it like that. Only someone who'd heard the screams, the silence, and the final orders that never came back. He looked up. "You were part of Shadow Rescue, weren't you?" Her eyes flickered just for a moment. Then she nodded. The room fell silent. Outside, the base drills continued. Whistles, marching boots, orders barked into the air. But inside that small office, time seemed to hold its breath. Elara spoke again, her voice barely a whisper. "I wasn't supposed to survive. But one of them, Lieutenant Morrow, dragged me out. He didn't make it. The tattoo. It's his design. He said one day someone might recognize it." Hayes leaned back slowly, his throat tight with emotion. Morrow had been his best friend, the man who'd saved his life more than once, and vanished without a trace. In that moment, the commander didn't see a recruit. He saw a ghost from the past carrying a promise too heavy for one person to bear. But the truth didn't stay quiet for long. Word spread fast. The new girl was a survivor of Shadow Rescue. Some soldiers started treating her like a legend, others like a liar. The tension built until it finally broke one afternoon during tactical drills. Sergeant Quinn, a broad-shouldered veteran, sneered as she adjusted her gear. "You expect us to believe you were SEAL trained. You don't even look like you've seen real combat." Elara didn't respond. She just looked at him, calm and steady, like someone who'd seen far worse than mockery. When the whistle blew, she moved like lightning. Fast, precise, efficient. Within minutes, she outmaneuvered every soldier on the field, finishing the obstacle course in half their time. The onlookers went silent. The commander watched from afar, jaw tight. There it was again, the discipline, the focus, the unbreakable rhythm of someone forged in survival. That night, Hayes found her sitting alone near the hangar, staring at the stars through the chain-link fence. "You didn't have to prove yourself to them," he said quietly. She smiled faintly. "I didn't do it for them, sir. I did it for him," the commander nodded. He knew exactly who she meant. Days later, a storm hit the coastline. The base went into emergency lockdown when a training chopper went down offshore with 3 recruits still inside. The rescue team was grounded. The winds were too strong. But Elara was already moving without orders, without hesitation. She strapped on a harness, grabbed a line, and sprinted into the downpour. Waves crashed, lightning tore across the sky. And yet she dove straight into the black water, vanishing beneath the foam. Minutes felt like hours. Then, through the storm's roar, voices cried out. 3 recruits pulled one by one onto the shoreline. Behind them, Elara dragged herself out last, coughing seawater, collapsing in the mud. The commander ran to her, dropping to his knees beside her. She was pale, shivering, but alive. When she looked up, she whispered, I told you, sir. I don't leave anyone behind. He stared at her arm again. That same faded tattoo, the mark of the fallen. It no longer looked like ink. It looked like a promise fulfilled. Days later, during a quiet morning ceremony, Hayes pinned a small insignia on her uniform. The same insignia Shadow Rescue once carried. "For courage beyond duty," he said, "and for keeping faith with those who never came home." The base fell silent. Then, one by one, every soldier saluted her, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And that small tattoo, once unnoticed, now carried the weight of an entire legacy, one that no storm could ever wash away. Tell me in the comments what this story meant to you. And don't forget to subscribe to Whispered Words for more stories of courage, redemption, and quiet heroism. End line, CTR hook. Every scar tells a story, but some stories rewrite history. Subscribe for more.